Terror Realm is an asymmetrical horror game that had a public test build this week. It just recently closed, and the lead developer, Coffee, has given us information on what they plan to do ahead. Coffee, the lead developer of Terror Realm, made a ping in their Discord server announcing what they plan to do after their break and a roadmap as well that I'll be looking over. It's in the Discord ping that the break would be 1 week long. Coffee stated that the alpha release of the game will hopefully come out August, but this is unlikely due to how he states in the text. But Coffee has made a roadmap of how they plan to change the game after the feedback of the public beta test, so I'll be going over that. It's important to mention that a recode and UGC will be top priority once they go back to work after a week. Considering the recode, I would like to think that this is a good choice for the game after the public beta test and all the feedback they got, but I do hope they keep the intensity of the game. I like how you couldn't just sit around and do nothing, or your team would just die brutally, which is kind of like other ASIM games, but I feel like others, you could actually handle yourself alone for the killer for like around 30 seconds or so. Not minutes, sorry about that. But regarding the roadmap, we actually have a lot of information for the alpha release and 2 updates after these. They plan to recode the entire game's backend like stated before, which includes hitboxes, movement, damage and health, and the ability system, but not including but not actually abilities. I don't know what that could mean exactly. The team noticed and decided to go and recode the game from the back end, because I do agree that the hitboxes should have been changed. From my experience of playing it a bit, Guess Six's hitboxes is, I wouldn't say it's stubby, but I would say that it kind of feels like it's not over his entire body, only on the right side of his body due to him only swinging his arm. But that could just be things on my end. Next, they plan to work on the survivors, which includes the blanks that they talked about as a new survivor recently, which are the Distractor, Observer, and excuse me if I pronounce this incorrectly, but the Career. I could say that I could be saying that completely wrong, which I'm pretty sure I am. But for the rest of the survivors, it'll be Rocketeer receiving a semi rework, which I think is needed. I disliked how you couldn't really go around his mines without getting guaranteed slowness, or maybe I'm just bad and I didn't notice the method. Next is the killers, which includes Bloody Mary, Jacob Bloxer, and the Big Six, aka Guess 666. For Bloody Mary, she'll have a rework for one of her moves. It didn't state what, but Draco Bloxer, they're gonna rework his base form. I think I get what they mean when they say this, because after a kill, Draco Bloxer will get faster, as you can tell when he starts running on all four instead of on his 2 hind legs after a kill. And then the Big Six Shade ability, aka Prosecution. I actually glad that they decided to want to do this, because from the clip you see here, it looked like I grabbed him, but apparently I didn't. I don't exactly know how that works, but I'm glad they're gonna change it. Up next is map stuff. They'll be changing community communication, which is the map I'm playing on now, and the background footage, as you can tell, which I think is good. I think this is a good change that they plan to do, because personally, I like the map, but due to the fact that these narrow hallways are really good for restaurant abilities, such as, Draco Bloxer's like dash and then Bloody Mary charge as well, it's practically like no counterplay to dodge it except for getting lucky and hoping that the killer doesn't have, a good reaction time to your turns and, trying to juke them. Which I don't think you should be trying to juke in an ASIM game, or it shouldn't be possible personally, because it disregards the whole stamina usage. Which I think there can be a little juking, just don't make it so heavily reliant on it. I do think this was actually intended, but I noticed that it's really hard to actually find a noticed Draco Bloxer on this map due to the red tint the whole map has. I do think this is fine. Some clips could be better on some maps than others. That makes sense. Next is Draco Blox's Forest, which is actually complete except for that one empty room that's kind of big with no furniture in it. I guess they actually plan to put something in there or some furniture to make it seem more lively, or there's a purpose to being there. And then they plan to release 2 additional maps, which we have no information on. Up next is gameplay additions listing map objectives, modifiers, destructible environments, 1/2 of the UI overhaul, which I don't mind. This game already has a really good UI, and I think it looks really amazing compared to others. Personally, I just like how smooth it feels and how things feel natural to click. Next is titles, and then NPCs such as Greg. I think Greg has something to do with the communities being his like backstage man or whatever. So he could be a cool NPC that we have later, maybe in the lobby. Or maybe what if you actually had to talk to him? I'll give him stuff in the games as objectives. That'd be kind of funny. Third thing on the list of the roadmap is additional content, which is skins and collectibles. I don't know what collectibles could mean. What if you could like have your own room or like sale in the Terra Realm universe and then just customize that? That'd be kind of cool. And you just have trophies on like just say a board or whatever. That's just wishful thinking though. Next we have is the Alpha Plus, which is probably just the first official update the game will have after the alpha release. For Alpha Plus, it'll have survivors, 3 of them, but one of them actually being named called Vilmera. Excuse me if I say that incorrectly. She's going to be a support from what is stated in the Discord server, the convict roster. And like stated before, the other 2 is unnamed, just 2 other survivors. And we actually have art of Vilmera. Credit to the person that made the design for Vilmera, and the credit to the person that made the title card. I think they did a good job. Seems to have association with Guess 666, the Big Six, of course. We also received 2 additional maps, though we have no names. And for smaller information, we will have more modifiers in the update, and skins and collectibles again. And finally, we have the last roadmapped update, which is called the Cool Kid update. Or the coolest update ever, from what the roadmap states. And of course, we'll have Cool Kid, coolest update ever, from what the roadmap states. And of course, we'll have Cool Kid as a killer. And then we'll have 2 additional maps, which is kind of big for an update. It'd probably take a lot of time to make. They plan on adding a lot in this update from what it states, being gameplay additions, being title cards, finishing the UI overhaul, from stated in the last update was only 1/2 of it, additional NPCs in the lobby, LMS cards, profile upgrades, progressional, and leveling system per character. Probably like Forsaken on how they get their skins or like prestiging or whatever it's called. And masteries, probably reaching level 100 with the character. You get additional skins and some other things, but it's pretty vague at the moment and we'll have to wait and see. And more modifiers. I believe they're trying to use modifiers to make the game more unique and not playing from the, of course, asymmetrical experience, which I think is a good idea. It's like how Grace makes it so they have modifiers in their own game to keep it from being so repetitive, you know? And then we also have contracts. I have no idea what this could actually mean, and I don't know if they stated anything about it before, but that does interest me. And for additional content, like always, skins, collectibles, and then one more that isn't listed in any other update, being lore. I assume they want to finish and make it so there's no empty open ends for characters that's currently in the game before making the lore even bigger, or maybe just the foundation and not actually characters. Who knows? And that's everything on the roadmap. Other than that, we don't have anything else that they have given us of the time, except for the reward for anyone that played the public testing build, being a skin for the Big Six. I'll have it here for you to listen to. And credit to the artist and the people that made the song, of course. That'll be all the information we have for Terrorama of the time after the testing build phase. Hope this video was informative, and excuse my voice for the whole video duration. Edited this when I just woke up for them in the morning, but I don't think it was too bad for my first actually scripted video. Planning on working on this channel to, avoid having a 9 to 5 unlike some people. Because, I think if I have one, I'll show the universe like a known fictional character. But with that, that's all. See ya.